Action.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Saaghe Fogwe podcast. We introduced this last week. I told you guys that I was starting a new project, stepping out of my comfort zone and doing some new things here. Um, and so today I have someone very, very special to me who's here with me. Um, I have a lot to say about this man, but he doesn't even know how this journey started because when I met him for the first time, it was through a project that someone else had introduced to me. It was the International Organization of African Nurses through Dr. Elvis Ngia, and he was recording videos for people. I At that time he was doing it in an apartment somewhere. He did a video for me. He didn't even remember me the second time I came around to, he was big time now, so he didn't remember the little people. But anyways, when I needed to start doing videos for my business, I remembered him because he made an impact on me, and he didn't even know that he did. So I circled back and looked for him and found him, and then there's been this beautiful journey that we're on right now. He's no other than Nasako, aka Toridey. I didn't even know his real name till recently because everybody knows him as Toridey. He has a great platform. He has a great project going on. He's all about community. And he has inspired a lot of people without even knowing it. He has inspired a lot of people. And today, the topic that we're going to talk about is media, which is his very comfort zone. And it's where he thrives. So we're going to talk about media today, find dig a little bit more into that. So I'm going to go ahead and welcome you to the show.
Thank you very much. I don't know. Sometimes when I don't even know what to say. I'm a shy person, by the way. So, I don't know. Let's go on.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you come about into the media world or become a media specialist? How did that all about? But we want to know a little bit about your background, where you come from,
Mhm.
just give us some background. Let's know who you are.
Okay. Mosina, Ekondo, Nasako. But most people prefer, or let me say, America prefer Nasako, Ekondo, and from Africa, from Cameroon, from Southwest. Kumba Peking. Yeah, I did my by the way, I is it allowed to speak a little bit of pidgin on your
A little
podcast?
bit, yeah, because
Okay.
we have a diverse
Yeah,
community, so
if I don't do that, I'll not really
you not be
feel I'll not
comfortable.
feel myself. So
Be
yeah,
yourself. Be yourself.
Kumba Peking. Go school for Kumba, go school for Sang Milima, then went to University of Buya. And then after University of Buya, I came to the United States. Um, Not married yet, but seriously talking to someone.
Okay, I was just
We
about to start advertising you now. He's
no, no, no,
single and available. No,
no,
he's
no, no.
not.
I'm
No,
not.
he's not
I'm
available.
not.
Okay.
Because if I was actually single, then something should be wrong with me. It's not like I'm bragging, but why would somebody like me be single?
Never
It's
know.
not like I'm in my 20s. So yeah, so moved to America, and then yeah, that's it
With your
with
background.
my
Okay.
background.
So how did the media thing come about? How did you end up in media?
Um, Now the truth is, a few years ago, no, I did not mention with my background. I did not mention I used to be a soccer player.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
what we call in Cameroon football. So
Football.
growing up, I was a soccer player. So many people consider me talented. So many people consider me good, really good. Um, However, as an honest person, sincere person, I had friends. When I look at them play, I was like, wow, how is he doing it?
Mm-hmm.
Like this guy is different, this guy is special, this guy is super talented, this guy is more talented than me. So throughout my career in Cameroon, I played at least the top level in Cameroon, which is like the first division.
Mm-hmm.
So one day we went for a game in Garoua. We were playing against Cotton Sport of Garoua. And after the game, I sat in my room and I was just thinking, because I was one of those guys. I'm still that person, the shy person, the introvert, the person who wants to stay in their comfort place.
Behind the camera.
Yeah, the person who wants to just stay in their room and do their own things, only talk to the people they want to talk to. So I was in my hotel room while everyone else went out and was maybe having fun. And I was like, okay, I know so many people who I know very well were more talented than me.
Mhm.
Now, why did these people not get to the level that Nasako is today?
Mhm.
So I was asking questions and then I started to look and look and look. And then I realized it boiled down to one thing, which was media.
Mhm.
Not just media, but information. You understand?
Yeah.
Um, I was fortunate to get the right information at the right time. Talking about acting upon the information, that is different.
Mhm.
So I was fortunate to get the right information at the right time. I was fortunate to know people who had this information.
Mhm.
I was fortunate to be around people who had the information and they were willing to share the information with me. That was what made me. That was what favored me. That was what, if it was in church, we'll call it grace.
Mhm.
You understand? Most of my friends, they probably did not have the information I had.
Yeah.
They were
Mhm.
not as blessed as me
Mhm.
to have someone who had the information I wanted to share with them.
Yeah.
So that was when I first decided if I have the opportunity, I will get into media. I will do
Mhm.
something. I will try to do something so uh, the next kid don't miss the opportunity. Because I really envy those friends that did not really get the chance. Now we are older. You
Yeah.
understand? So for
Definitely.
me, I feel
Mhm.
like they were unexploited. Their talents were never exploited.
Mhm.
So for me it was just like, okay, you know what, you need to do something so the next kid, uh the next Nasako, the next Bele Derek, I call him Capo, the next Dan Mush, I have all these friends who were super good, who were super talented.
Mhm.
The next person should not miss,
Mm.
the next kid should
Mhm.
not miss their opportunity or their chance.
Exactly.
That was the first time I decided, you know what, I need to get into media. Another thing that happened to me growing up was just like me, you're from Cameroon.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
I grew up watching CLTV, the early 90s, late 90s. And then early 2000s, we started having cable TV, like Canal Horizon and all of those.
I don't
And
even know what those are. I left Cameroon
oh,
in
you,
96.
oh Lord. So like early 2000, we started having like cable, like late 90s, we started having like cable, like Canal Horizon and all of these
Mhm.
foreign channels.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
now we were already used to CRTV,
Yeah,
and
that's all we
CRTV was
knew.
the apex for us, and
Yes.
CRTV was the biggest thing, and we were like, "Oh, CRTV, CRTV,"
Mhm.
and then we started seeing other channels, and then I started comparing them with CRTV, and I was always like, "Okay, well, their images look better."
Mhm.
You understand
Mhm.
what they're doing, their
Yeah, what are they
presentation and
doing
everything. It
differently?
looks better. It
Mhm.
looks like quality.
Mhm.
And everyone, like most people, switched from watching CRTV to we wanted to watch
The
other
cable,
channels. The
because they
cable,
look
yeah,
better. The
they look
pictures were
better.
better. Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I don't know, for some reason growing up, I was always challenging myself. I can do better than CRTV. I should do better than CRTV. If I have the opportunity, I should do something that can look better than CRTV. So in my mind, as a young guy, I was already competing with the CNN and the
Mhm.
Fox News and the Canal Horizon
Oh
and all
wow.
those years. So I was
That's
looking at,
amazing.
like, I was looking at, okay, what can I actually do someday
Mhm.
to make sure our people are actually represented the right way,
Yeah.
not
And
the
for those who
CRTV.
don't know,
Mhm.
CRTV stands for Cameroon Radio
Television.
Television. That's, for Cameroonians obviously will know that. But
Mhm.
for those who don't know, that's what that means.
Mhm. Yeah, so for me that was it, and I think that was how I got into.
Okay.
So fast forward to many years when I came to the United States. Even back home, I started. I think I wrote a project. I did a project. I wrote down the project. What I actually wanted to do when I decided to. I was still playing soccer, but at that moment, I was already looking at, okay, very soon you probably don't have to play anymore. Like,
Hmm.
what next?
Yeah.
So I sat down, wrote down a project, and wrote down everything, did my research, wrote down everything I needed to do, media, radio, TV. This back
Mhm.
then, things like podcasts and all the new things that are happening right now
Mhm.
were not there.
Yeah.
But then I think everything that I wrote down, I just started somehow
Your
chasing a dream.
dreams.
Then came to
Wow.
America, and for me, when I came to America, it was more like God brought you here
Mhm.
so you can have the
Yes.
resources.
Yes.
Back then, I used to visit people, and I record with my phone
Mhm.
and transcribe everything, and then
Wow.
I post on Facebook. So that was kind of like blogging,
Mhm.
but then I did not even know that was a word for it.
Yeah.
So I talked to so many people like the Nasako, Emeninko,
Mhm.
many great people. I talked to so many people.
Mhm.
Sometimes I'll even go there and they'll call me Oga journalist, and I'll start smiling like, oh,
You're
so
like, is
I'm a
that so? You're a
journalist.
journalist, but you were. That's
Yeah,
what you were. You just didn't have somebody give you that title, but that's what you were.
trust me, I did
Mhm.
not even
Yeah.
like the title was not even important to me. For me, it
Yeah.
was
It
just
was the
about
project.
doing that
Yeah.
one thing that made me want to do.
Your passion.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was your
So it
passion.
was me taking
Mhm.
information from this person and sharing it with the world,
Yeah.
taking information with this person. And that was how, like I said, came to America and got blessed with the resources. And
Yeah.
then I started buying cameras and buying this. And before you
Mhm.
know it,
We're
I
here.
was, yeah.
Well, for those who are joining us now, please, like what we're doing and share it with others. This is the first Facebook Live that I'm really doing, so go ahead and share with others. This project will be on YouTube Live going forward. Today we
Mhm.
had to improvise and get on Facebook Live. So like the video or like the project, share it and invite others to join the live project. So let me ask you a question. For somebody who has not studied media and
Mhm.
who is not a professional, how
Mhm.
would you define media? What would you define media to be?
Okay, so there's a traditional definition of media, and there's my definition.
Okay.
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm Einstein or one of these guys who,
Creating your own stuff.
yeah. So
You
there's
just
a
don't have Einstein's hair,
from
the crazy hair.
so
I do. I have the crazy
okay.
hair.
So there is a traditional definition of media which was supposed to be broadcasting and publishing. So back in the days, it was either radio or TV, or and then for publishing it was magazines and
Mhm.
newspapers and all of that. But nowadays it's different. We have what we call social media now. So
Mhm.
with the coming or of internet and all of
Mhm.
that, we have something new, we have something different. So when you talk about media nowadays, you're definitely talking about broadcasting,
Mhm.
publishing, and the
Mm.
internet, which is
Yes.
supposed to be
Mhm.
social media. That for me is my definition of what media is all about.
Yeah. Yeah. And, anything that's published that people have to read,
Hmm.
is a form of mass communication.
That's
Basically,
true.
you're reaching a bunch of people at the same time with
That's
the
true.
same
That's
information.
true.
So, what would you say to people who are leery or a little bit hesitant to be involved in media? What would you say to them?
Okay, I think that is a very very good question, because that is the one challenge I've noticed with our community. Look at America. America is what it is today because of media. I'm sure before you left Africa to come to America, you probably was like me, thinking once you get here, you can harvest money from
Oh,
trees.
yeah. It
It's
was in the
everywhere.
backyard.
I thought every black guy was walking like how they and the media painted
A different
a
picture.
different picture. You
Mhm.
understand? And to see today that our people um we don't really I don't want to say we don't have time for media, because they watch news, they watch, but um they don't really, I don't know if they're paying the attention they should be paying, because you need to really understand certain things about media, and then you can better exploit media. What was your question again?
The question was, what would you say to people who are hesitant or they think that media is a bad thing? So
Okay.
what would you say to those
So
people?
so so this is it. First of all, we need to develop the interest, but we need to understand that media is everything. Media is everything. America is what it is today because of media. Until date, every American still understand the importance of media. I'll give you an example. The former president, he was president for 4 years. He never went to CNN. Now that he's not president anymore and he's planning to run for 2024, he feels the need to go to CNN. You
To be
understand?
interviewed.
Even knowing fully whether when I go there, they're going to ask me dangerous questions, they're going to ask me trap questions and all of that. All he had to do, because he was a media guy, remember, he knows, okay, all I have to do is go there and don't answer their questions, but then spill whatever thing I
To
have to
pass on
spill,
your message.
pass
So
on my
it's
message.
a platform.
It's a
Yep.
platform. So Americans understand this, and that is one thing I want our people to understand. Media is important. If you ask me, on my opinion, though, media is the most important thing every country who is looking to become developed needs. That's the reason why in London or UK you have BBC, America has like CNN and Fox News and all of that. In there's Al Jazeera. There is I'm sure the Chinese people, the Asians, they have their own thing. What does Africa have? That's the reason why every other
Cameroon has
person
CRTV.
we have. That's the reason
Yeah,
why
yeah.
our
It's just
story is being told by other
yeah,
people. They
true.
decide what to share. They decide what to tell. They decide until we get to that place where we can tell our story through media and all the media platforms will never be developed.
But do you agree that, I mean, those who are hesitant, they have a good reason too, because of the negative connotation, some negative things that, that get portrayed on media and then influence, like some people get influenced by the media.
Definitely, but it's not just media. Life, almost
Yeah.
everything about life. Growing up, my mom taught me that in every blessing there is a curse. It is on you to decide
What?
not to exploit the curse, but the blessing. You understand? Jesus came to earth and he was crucified. You think these people did not have good reasons to crucify him? They had their reasons. You
And
understand?
they justified their reasons.
That's what I'm saying. So yeah, you can sit here and feel like, oh, media, oh, I don't want to be out there. But guess what? Wait until that day when people who know how to use media, people who know how to exploit media, will use media to destroy it completely.
So how would why should every family or every community
Mhm.
incorporate media? Why should they really take this seriously, what you're saying? Because you've painted a really good picture about media, about the advantages of why people
Mhm.
should have that. Why should every family um incorporate that into themselves, or get to know about media a little bit more, educate themselves on media? Why should they do that?
So this is the thing, right? Media is power, like I said earlier. So, and life is about not power in a negative way, but life is about having control. Life is about having that firm hold about your tomorrow. You don't want to be in a place where any person, any media, because that's another thing. I think we need to talk about that. Who is actually media? You understand? You don't want to be in a place where any person can come from anywhere and just use this little resources they have to push your faith, to push the faith of your kids or whoever that you love and care about to another direction. You understand?
Yeah.
It is true our kids go to school and they learn stuff, but trust me, most of the stuff they learn today
In some
is
media.
from media,
Yeah.
either social media or the traditional
Yeah.
media.
So by the time you try to have a conversation with your kids about
Yeah,
sexuality, health,
yeah,
who to marry
yeah.
and things like that, somebody has already
No, they're
taught them
telling you
that they're,
sorry,
yeah,
sorry. I'm learning from
yeah,
Kim Kardashian already,
yes,
and there is nothing you can.
yes, you can't tell me anything
So,
differently, so
but
you have.
now, if you already know the importance of media, the role of media, what media is, who is media, you can easily know how to push things towards them. You can actually educate them on these things because you will not teach somebody something you don't know. That is for sure. But then if we do our research and we understand the role, we understand the importance, we understand how it works, then we can help them. And even tomorrow, after tomorrow, someday, you never know. You
Yeah.
might want to get into media because at the end of the day, we all are in media. That should be your next question. Who is
Yes,
media?
exactly.
We all are in media, but we just don't know.
Yeah, so that's a good segue into that. So who is media?
Media is everyone. So, like I
Yeah.
told you earlier, back in the days, media was broadcasting, media was publishing. So the only people we looked at as media was a TV station,
The
the printing
journalist.
press, the journalists, and all of these people, all these organizations. So they had a firm hold on how we think, what we do, what we believe in, and all of that. But with the coming of internet, with the coming of social media, all of that, everyone is media.
Yeah.
Everyone is media. I'll give you an example. I continue to circle back to the guy. I'm not really his fan, but he has like he's going to be my
No
example.
politics on this show.
No, no.
No
So
bashing of people. Remember, we
no,
said that last week. No bashing, no
I'm not. I'm
negative
not.
talk.
I'm
No, I'm
not.
just kidding.
Yeah.
Just reminding
So
us.
I'll go back to him, right? This is one person who, before his Twitter account got suspended, he had 80 million followers. CNN, which has existed for about 20 years or plus, and it's an organization, it's supposed to be far more
It's
bigger.
huge.
Guess how many million followers they had on their Twitter
I
account?
don't even know.
60 million followers.
60 million. And he had
80 million.
80 million. Okay.
So who do you think should be influential?
Obviously, the one with more followers.
So that is the thing. So he actually decides what the news is. And as smart as he is, you understand? Smart as in, sorry, quotes. All he had to do was discredit them. Fake news, fake news, fake news, fake news. So what? So every other person don't believe in them, but in him. And then now he uses himself as the media to brand himself. And that was how he won the election in 2016.
Wow.
You understand? So this goes back to, let me go back to answer your question, who is media? Now, back in the days, it used to be those big corporations. Nowadays, it's different.
Yeah. It could
Nowadays,
be anybody. So it could just be, you're saying, just an
everybody,
individual.
Anybody, everybody, we all are media.
Yeah.
You wake up in the morning, you make a post on Facebook. That is media work you're doing. You go to an event and there's something beautiful happening, you capture with your phone. You go on Facebook Live. That is media work you're doing. So everyone is media. But the mentality, the traditional mentality we had of media being CNN and all of these broadcasting institution is what is actually holding us back.
Yeah. So we have the power in our hands, in our palms. We don't have the old traditional phones, that
have you
Blackberries, or now we have all smartphones that are actually.
Have you noticed
powerful.
Nowadays people are always like, oh, I'm putting this on Facebook. Oh, I'm putting this on.
Or somebody warning you, please don't put my picture on social media.
That's the thing.
Right away when you're taking their picture.
That is because people are beginning to understand the power they have as individual, the influence they have as individual. So we all are media.
And we water it down. The thing is, we've been raised to, to think about, certain traditional things or traditional careers as more important than even media, because I'm guilty of that. I have a nephew-in-law who came here, and he watched this because he thinks I'm a star now that I I'm in front of the camera a lot. He actually, his birthday was yesterday. He's in Canada.
Happy birthday, cousin.
Yeah, so he saw one of the advertisement for this podcast, and he said, Auntie, when I wished him happy birthday, he said, Auntie, big star, But he came here, he chose his major to be media. He wanted to do media. And most people in the family, or on my husband's side of the family, were against that. Like they thought about, I was one of those who was a little leery about it. I wasn't exposed enough to, because I wanted him to do something else. But he has stuck with that. And that's what he's going to school for, to do communication, media, videography.
You need to hook me up with
yes.
him.
He's very talented. He wants to do this. Can
I ask you a question? Let's go back in the days when I just wanted to use an example to kind of like show people that media actually, especially in Cameroon. So do you think all the songs you like, or all the artists you like, who was your favorite artist back then in Cameroon?
But when I was in Cameroon, let me see. I've been gone so long.
Did you?
Like,
okay, let me
Cameroonian artists, right?
Cameroonian artists.
I'll say Dedie Yango.
Okay. Yeah. So where did you used to listen to Dedie Yango?
On CRTV.
That is the thing. I remember there were songs that were played on CRTV sometimes, or either FM 105 or any of these channels. They will repeat the song again and again and again. And you remember they say
on radio.
Yeah, on radio.
Yes.
And before you know it, you start to sing the song. Before you know it,
songbooks
and all of that.
The wrong lyrics.
CRTV and all of these people were the ones dictating what was good and what was bad. That's the reason why. Let me not say what I wanted to say. Just go ahead with another question. So, but let me say that's the reason why it was very, very okay for us to have one person as president for 40 years, and no one even thought like, okay, because the media and everything.
Was controlling.
That's
Yeah.
just it.
Mm. Okay, we'll leave that one alone. Again, no politics. So if you have questions, drop it in the
Comment section.
comments. We'll look at it in a little bit. I'm still trying to figure out, like everything, and juggling between looking at comments and everything. So just drop the comments, anything. If you like what we're doing, go ahead and share and invite other people to the video. So my next question to you is, what impact do you think, as Toridey, that
Mhm.
platform, what impact, I know you're already creating a great impact, but what impact do you think you're going to create in the community, or what is your goal? What's your bigger goal when it comes to media?
So, like I said earlier, right? How did I get here? For me, the question was, what can I do to make sure the next person who is talented, the next person who has information, the next person who is really smart, the next person who has something to offer to our community, is not lacking that opportunity, it's not missing on opportunities to actually share what they can share with our community.
Mhm.
Because for me, one of the reasons why most of my friends growing up who were soccer players, who were footballers, who were better than me, they did not get to where I wanted them to be, is because they never had the information. We had limited media. All we had was CRTV. So if your uncle no be know some man way, know some man way, or your auntie no work for CRTV, or some person,
Networking. Yeah, I had to know someone.
it
Yeah.
was
Networking.
practically impossible. And then
Yeah.
the corruption also.
Yes.
If you're supposed to get on there, then you get for pay maybe $1,000 or $2,000 or
Mhm.
like.
And if you
So
don't have it, you're already weeded
that
out.
is it. So
Yeah.
so many people actually,
Mhm.
they lost the opportunity, they lost the chance to share the gift they had with the world
Mhm.
because we had limited media.
Mhm.
So that was how I decided, you know what, I needed to start something on my own. That
Mhm.
was how I decided I needed to start Toridey. So that is actually what Toridey is trying to do in the community. Create that platform where people can just come and just share what they know and just share their knowledge and just share information and just talk about things that can help our community grow.
Mhm.
We need platforms like this. We need, like you starting a podcast
Mhm.
now.
Mhm.
We need platform like, we need people to listen to my story and be
Mhm.
like, wow, okay, now I know what media is all about.
Yes.
This is what I should
Mhm.
start doing. That is
Mhm.
what we should be doing to get our community to where it's supposed to be. So for me, that's it.
Mhm.
Now, I'll be honest with you. Whatever the thing you do and you do it correctly,
Mhm.
there's always a reward for it.
Mhm.
So there's definitely a reward for me doing
Mhm.
what I'm doing with
Yes.
Toridi. I don't
Yeah.
want to talk about that
Yeah,
one.
well, there is. Honestly, he's a man of his word. He walks the talk. He talks the talk and walks the walk. Because I mean, I've watched him for a while. I've seen the people he interviews. He's not biased about who comes on his platform. Anybody comes to his platform and he interviews them. And he's actually the producer of this, podcast. I'm very privileged. I'm plugging in now before he's a millionaire. So if anybody's still kind of minimizing what Toridey is all about, you're wasting time. So I'm already plugged in. I have my shares already. But he is all about the community. What he's saying is, sharing talents, people
Mhm,
coming on, whatever you're about.
mhm,
And that's what this show is, you're gonna mimic a little bit, because whoever you are, and if you need a platform, you need some a place where you can share your talents. You have a business you want to talk about, that's what media is all about, and it will reach multiple people out there that you couldn't reach on your own. Do you think people can live as an island when it comes to media, without media, like be on their own and just say, okay, I want to do my own thing. I'm a private person. I don't want my stuff out there. I don't want people out there, and still be successful?
definitely.
Okay.
But the truth is, you limit yourself. So if you're 1 billion rich today, no, if you had media and you used it correctly, you'll be 10 billion rich.
That's true.
That is the
Yeah.
simple truth.
So
So,
the compounding process
which is
of,
the
yeah.
same thing with Africa, right?
Yeah.
Africa still exists. But is it
But
where it's supposed to be?
mhm.
We don't have
So we're
the
limited.
media. Yeah, we don't have the media that is required to sell Africa the way Africa is supposed to be sold. Remember, after COVID came, that was one blessing. After COVID came, people shifted, people were locked down. and then they shifted to social media. And with social
Mhm.
media, some guy in Cameroon can post whatever, and some person in Texas can watch and smile and be like, you know what?
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
watch another video of this
Yes.
guy. I want to. Do you know how many
Yeah.
millionaires COVID created from Africa from social media?
Wow. That's
So that
amazing.
is the thing.
Mhm.
You can decide to not get into media. You can decide to not do media. You can
Mhm.
decide to not do want to attach yourself to media,
Yeah.
and you can still be very, very successful.
Mhm.
But I bet you, if media was involved, you'll be far more better
Mhm.
than what you actually think you are.
Mhm. So is everybody able to be successful in the media arena? Just
Um,
anybody?
now it depends on what your definition of success is. You understand?
Mhm.
Because people have different reasons why they people should have different reasons or
Mhm.
different ways on how to use media.
Mhm.
For me, the bottom line is you really just need to know what media is, understand media.
Mhm.
So if need be, you know when to use media. You understand? I have
Mhm.
friends who sometimes they're in entertainment
Mhm.
and they have a problem or whatever, whatever, and then I just go to my files and I pull up a video of them saying this and that, and then I put out, and then they call me later and say, bro, that video we put out, you don't know how that video don't shape that conversation.
Mhm. Mhm.
You understand?
Mhm.
This is a video that was done like 10 years ago.
Mhm. Mhm.
This is a video that was done many years ago.
Yeah.
And now people are starting to look at this person like, oh, you never ever do this, you never ever do this. And
Mhm.
once I put out that video, it
Mhm.
starts giving people a different,
Yeah.
and it's not coming from them,
It's
it's coming from
somebody else.
someone
So you're
else.
not bragging about yourself. Somebody else is bragging on you. Yeah. Yeah.
That is
Mhm.
media.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand? So I just feel like the focus
Mhm.
should be more on understanding what media
Mhm.
is, understanding the role of media in our
Mhm.
communities today, especially with the fact that everyone is media.
Mhm.
You see, people have their issues, they go on media.
Mhm. And just
People are thinking about
express it.
destroying
Yeah.
the next
Mhm.
person or humiliating the
Mhm.
next person. They go
Mhm.
on social media.
Yeah, and it takes forever to undo
And
what they've done, the damage that they've done. Yeah.
that is another thing
Yes.
people don't even understand. Do
Yeah.
you know companies, before they even bring you in today for
The-
interviews, they go on your social
Yep.
media?
Yep. And
That is
check
the first
it.
place they'll go
Yeah.
to. So they ask you your names, and then
Yeah.
once you fill out that information,
They go
they
put.
Google you,
Yep.
they go to your YouTube, they go to everything about you.
Mhm.
That is the first test you're supposed to pass
Yeah.
before they can bring you in. Because they don't want to bring in somebody who is crazy and then they discover, oh,
Yeah.
if you had gone to his social media,
You
you
would
would
have
have
known
noticed
who
that
they
they were
are.
doing this and doing this
Mhm.
and doing this.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why we have to be very, very careful with the
Mhm.
information people put on media.
Mhm.
That's the reason why even when somebody put out something negative about us on social media, we allow the dust to settle. We go to them, we say, hey, please, can you take that down? At
Yes.
least you already have what you wanted.
Mhm.
You understand? We
Mhm.
negotiate with them and please take that down.
Yeah.
So 10, 20 years from now, somebody don't go to your social media and pull
Mhm.
stuff. I'll give you another example. Kevin Hart was supposed to host the Oscars. Do you know how he was kicked out?
Mhm.
Someone went and pulled a tweet of him of 10 years ago. I think they say he was homophobic or whatever. I don't know. Something about around that. Pulled the tweet and say, oh, so this is a person you're planning for to host the
Mhm.
Oscars.
So just one
A
person's
tweet which was
opinion.
even
Mhm.
about his son. He said, I think he had made a joke. He had joke. Okay, that's what he claimed though. He said he had jokingly say, if my son was trying to be,
Mhm.
I will beat him to.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that was it. Back then, nobody bothered about the post.
But
10 years
now
later, he
it
was looking to
mattered.
host the
So it
Oscars.
mattered. Mhm.
That's the reason why
Yeah.
you should understand these things. Don't sit there comfortably and you're like, oh, I don't get me time with social media. Whereas there were gossips and this going on about you, or there are things
Mhm.
about this, that there are things about you on social media, which is actually painting an image of
Mhm.
who you are not.
Yeah.
Let's just get
Yeah,
to know
because
media.
it's
Let's just,
yeah, it's open
yep,
for interpretation because there can be a video out there and without much explanation, and somebody when somebody sees that video, they interpret it the way they
very, very
want to.
true.
Yeah, they take it the way
Yep,
they can peel it in all directions.
yep,
And so as I guess the point here is that we should be careful with
very,
what we
very
put on
careful.
our social media.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're promoting media here,
Make sure
but
we know what is
yes,
out there about us.
exactly, and
Yep.
then clean it up, clean it
Mhm.
up, because you never know if you want to run for office tomorrow, if you want to be involved in leadership, or
Mhm.
or whatever,
Yep.
or just a job. Even if you're applying for a job, you don't
Mhm.
want a job to miss out on your dream
You
job because somebody posted something
about
about you.
you.
So
Yeah.
we have to be careful with that. So maybe we check to see if If there are any questions.
Yeah, we don't have questions. I
No,
think
they're none yet.
yeah.
Okay. So yeah, what next? We've been going on a marathon here.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you've talked about the things that you want to do in the community.
Mm-hmm.
So are you at the point where you're because I know you're growing
Mm-hmm.
really, you're growing really fast.
Mm-hmm.
Your platform is growing really fast. Are you at the point where you might consider mentorship, like mentoring younger people who want to go into media, because you have to make sure that we have a next generation coming up.
Definitely.
You're not getting any younger.
No, definitely. What you're saying is true,
Yeah.
and that is one thing I think I believe or understand our communities lagging. I don't know if I should say about or, but we really have to do something. Do something. In every domain, not just media, but every other domain. You
Mhm.
remember I talked about media. I don't know if I talked about media for me being more of documenting the
Mhm.
moment. Yeah,
Mhm. Yes.
for
Mhm.
me, that is how I see media. So why every other person, why the traditionalist, they look media more as oh, broadcasting, communication, and this and that. No,
Mhm.
for me, I look at media more as um that platform or that institution we're supposed to document
Mhm.
today,
Mhm.
preserve it for
Mhm.
tomorrow.
Mhm.
That's the reason why I pay attention with when I talk about media, the way I document my stuff. I don't try to alter things because I want to make them look good.
Mhm.
I'm a
Make it
photo
real.
Yeah, I'm a
Mhm.
photographer, and people always complain, oh, every other person that they over edit their picture, then why you need edit them and make a man look like Beyonce, and you're not Beyonce. That is actually misleading. You understand? Just imagine we
So
are
no filters. You're not gonna put filters.
I can do a little bit of filter, but I want to do it in a way somebody meets you and they say,
Mhm.
oh, this is Sai
Oh, that's
Fogwe. I
yeah.
know
They're
you.
not like
Not like
who's
you walk
this?
up to
Yeah.
someone and you say,
Mhm.
I'm Sai Fogwe. I know you. You comment always on my videos, and they're
Mhm.
like, I don't.
You don't look
It
like that
happens
person.
all the time.
Mhm.
You understand? People meet me and they greet me, and I'm like, okay. And then I know you on Facebook, and this, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, the Facebook you and this you
And
is
it's not
totally
the
different.
same.
So
Mhm.
for me, that is what media is all about.
Mhm.
Media is about us
Yeah,
documenting.
and we do it without knowing, because I know that once I had a smartphone, I
Hmm.
started documenting my kids.
Yeah,
Like I have 3 kids, by the
that
way.
is
Yeah,
media.
so the little videos here and there, I have videos of my 2 older ones, just playing around and all that, and I
Hmm.
pull it out now. But when I'm doing the videos, people are frowning.
Guess what?
They're
Back in the
irritated.
days, you will have to pay CRTV to do that.
Yeah,
You have
yeah,
to pay a publishing company or a broadcasting
yeah.
company to come and do a documentary of your
Mhm.
family. But
Mhm.
nowadays, that's the reason why I say
Yeah.
we all are media.
Yes,
You understand?
we
So
are.
you were asking me about
Mentorship.
mentorship, and yeah,
Mhm.
I'm open to that, and I've been
Mhm.
doing that already. I have friends, people who even consider themselves as competitors. I
Mhm.
try to help them. I try to guide them.
Mhm.
I don't think I have anything to lose. Yeah, I don't think I have
Mhm.
anything to lose because
Mhm.
whatever I'm doing is coming from a genuine place.
Mhm.
It's coming from
Mhm.
a place of, oh, this makes me happy.
Yeah. Mhm.
This is supposed to help our community grow, and so I just do it.
Yeah.
And to see another person, to work with other people, to see a young man do what they're doing, and they're doing very well because I helped them.
Mhm.
For me, it's joy.
Yeah.
Remember, I told you getting into media actually sat in my room and I was not thinking about myself.
Mhm.
I was already up there, first division player, making money, was famous, and all of that. But then I was thinking about my friends.
Yeah.
Oh, I used to know this person was talented. I know this person was talented. Why did they not get to my level?
Mhm.
So that is me. That's my mindset.
Mhm.
I know the gift God has given me. I understand the grace and all of
Mhm.
that. But I'm always thinking about what can I do to push this, to make sure my
Mhm.
community is actually benefiting from this 100%.
Yeah. So how can everybody benefit from this in our community right now? Like speak to business owners, speak to um influential people in the
Hmm.
community, even if they personally are not, I mean, they think they're not
Hmm.
involved in media.
Hmm.
How can they benefit from your platform, from any platform, any media, so they can reach out to mass number of people at the same time? How
So
speak
so
to them?
the platform she's talking about is Toridey, which is a media platform. We do many things. We have magazine, we do broadcasting, we do podcasts, we do videos for businesses, we do photography, We do all of this, and one thing is sure, we've been working with so many people in the community, put out so many videos encouraging people to come to us. I know sometimes people are worried about the pricing in this and that. Oh, nowadays they even say to it is expensive. Yeah, I'm expensive because I know what I'm doing. I want to do a good job for you. So if I should do a good job for you, it'll take time. And if it should take time, I should actually be uh
Compensated for your
yes,
time and
compensated for the
energy,
time.
yeah, and
So
your
so
skills, because I've tried to be on my own. Trust me, I got some equipment, a few pieces of equipment, and I still didn't know how to use it.
you
So
people should keep buying equipment, because when you buy the equipment, after 3 months you
we'll
cannot
bring it
use
to
the
you.
equipment, you sell it to me
We'll
really
bring it to
cheap.
him and sell it to him. So no, I stopped. I got really smart, and that's why I said I've plugged in already. And
So that is the thing. We have many other media companies popping up here and there in our community right now, which is a beautiful thing. If you cannot work with Toridey, look for any of them and talk to them. Don't be afraid to go to them and talk to them. When people say Toridey is expensive, don't listen to them. Just go to Toridey, present your project. I've done many projects for people for
yeah,
free. I've done projects for people where they paid me and I was like, no, it's
no,
okay.
it's
I feel
okay.
like I learned a lot working with you.
Yeah.
So that's it for me. I've walked up to so many people, and I just saw something in them. I just saw
Yeah.
talent, and I was like, you know what? This is what I can offer.
Mhm.
This is what you should bring to the table, and let's do this.
Yeah.
Because I know at the end of the day, it benefits the community, which
Like this
is
project, this podcast, it was his vision. I just found myself wrapped up in this. He suggested it, and before I knew it, I was starting a podcast. I'll thank him later. I haven't. I'm still thinking about it because I've never
you're,
been.
trust me, you're doing good. Yeah, for me, and I think that's one other thing, one other blessing, one other grace from God. It's easy for me to identify someone who is talented, who is you. You're a very smart woman. You articulate very well. You are very knowledgeable, and so for me, I was just looking at, okay, this is too much. This is too much knowledge. This is too much potential, and only the pray may happen. But if you drop dead now,
Mm-hmm.
you're actually leaving this world with a bibliothèque, like the Frenchman calls it. You're actually leaving this world with wisdom. So one of the things I'm trying to do is see how we can scrape everything from your brain,
Oh wow!
document
I'll
it,
have no
put it
brain left.
put it somewhere. So the kids who are coming after us, if they want feel like they want to be like Saaghe Fogwe, they just go to Fogwe's podcast, listen to her again and again and again and again, and know what they're supposed to be doing and what they're not supposed to do.
Yeah, well, thank you. That's a lot of accolades to me, but I do appreciate it. And the purpose of this podcast really will be to get to know me, but at the same time, we're gonna have guests
Mhm.
on the show who come on, we'll interview them, and in the course of time, just we'll go on this journey together. So I think I mean, do you have any last words before we wrap up here? I know we've shared a little bit of information. We don't want to drag this out too long.
That's true.
Yeah, people are busy and probably at work and stealing time from their
Mhm.
boss to listen to this. I know. So any last words you have for the audience about media, and how they can plug in and all that, and just share your contacts, your social media stuff and all that too.
Yeah, I think first of all, I thank our community. Before now they were slow, but they are picking up. Or once I send things to them, I don't even need to tell them to share. I don't even need to tell them to give me their opinion and all of that. They're doing that really well. But I want them to expand that beyond Toridey, beyond Nasako. So it should not only end with Nasako. Like I said earlier, um, they were having this mindset of Toridey is the only media house in the community. That is not
It's not
true.
true.
Everyone is media. Toridey is just that one person who's actually pushing out there
Yes.
as an institution. Everyone is media. So if someone puts out something that is positive, especially about our community, make sure you share. Make sure you
Yes.
applaud them for that. Make sure you leave a comment. So by this, what I'm saying is we already understand what media is all about. We already understand who is media. We already understand the role we are supposed to play as media to help our community move to the next place. Let's just get to action. I think it will. Just trust me. Just try.
Yeah.
Baby steps, one step at a time. Once a week, once a month,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Just try. Just make sure you're doing something. Like they
Yeah.
tell me the other day, if you need to crawl, walk. If you need to walk, no, is that how you said it? No, you started. If you need to run, waka. If you need to waka, crawl. If you need to crawl, whatever, creep over, like
Yeah,
whatever. Just
something,
make sure so you do something where it
something.
be. Yeah. So
Yes.
even if you want fall now, fall, no fall for one place, fall ahead,
For
fall
ahead.
forward. So that is what we're supposed to be doing
Yeah.
for community.
Yeah.
Media is important.
Yeah.
Media is important. I'll
Mm-hmm.
leave you guys with this. We have young men who are super talented in our
Mm-hmm.
community,
Yeah.
but you don't know about them. We have a
Mm-hmm.
guy that plays for Dallas FC. He's from Cameroon. We
Mm-hmm.
have doctors.
Mm-hmm.
We have wonderful people who are doing wonderful
Yes.
things for our community.
Yeah.
But the only reason you don't know about them is because the person who runs the traditional media that we all know don't
It's not
have
highlighting that.
is not highlighting them.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have time for them. They
Yeah.
have time for other people. They have time for their priorities.
Yeah.
So until we learn how to, if it's an institution, build our own media,
Mm-hmm.
or if it's individuals, understand how we can actually play that role of media, then our community will move from where
Mm-hmm.
it is to
Mm-hmm.
someplace really, really better.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being on the show and, in front of the camera this time, not behind the camera. And, actually
People
having
kill
a,
me. They'll say,
having,
"Oh, you
I know,
never deny for can do my own interview. Don't go
hey,
do."
I'm special. Nobody beats my position. No, I'm very special. So I got him to do an interview with me. I twisted his arm a little bit, but since he's the reason I started the podcast, and he's kind of the producer of this. He is the producer, not kind of. He is the producer of this podcast. I had to make sure that the first segment was dedicated to him. And because we're on a media platform, I had to talk about media to make sure that we explain a little bit more about it so people understand it and what this journey is about. But like the African proverb says, little drops of water make a mighty ocean, right? You keep dropping. So he's talking about everybody doing a little bit. Do
Mhm.
your piece, do your bit, and together the community will come together and do a great effort. All we're about is pushing people's passions, their purposes. You can do something for profit somewhere, but you use that profit to fulfill that passion and your purpose, because you'll only feel like you're leaving this world doing something when you finally find that purpose in life and you fulfill it. So until next time, you're on the Saaghe Fogwe podcast. I'm hoping that we'll be back again next week, next Friday. For now, we're doing Fridays. It might change, but just we're gonna make this thing flexible and work with everybody. But thank you guys so much. We're gonna sign off now and hope to see you on the next segment. Thank you.